Is there any place in Western martial arts or in rough and tumble for any sort of contemplation or meditation? That's a great question. And I think that there's a fundamental misunderstanding about what contemplation and meditation are, where they came from, and how they're practiced. Do you think that people suddenly just decided to sit down, be quiet, and then see what happens? That's not the way things work. So what happened was that prey animals had to sit really, really still so they wouldn't get caught by predators. And predators needed to sit really still in order to catch prey. Anyone who's ever sat in a tree stand or tried to take a picture of an animal or anything like that knows that you have to sit really, really still. And anything that's ever been chased by anything else knows that you have to sit really still in order to keep from getting caught. So what happened is that from time immemorial, every living creature known to man has probably sat really, really still for a long period of time, at least prior to the modern era where it became not necessary. And so contemplation and meditation are in your DNA, because what happened is that, when human beings, the precursors of humans were, lemurs or something like that, then they learned how to sit really, really still. And then they realized that there were certain benefits to sitting really still. People assume that you have to sit in a particular position with your legs folded up in some sort of funny manner. You have to sit in Seiza position, the way they do in Zen, with on their knees or something like that. But the truth is, meditation doesn't have anything to do with how you sit or where you sit or anything like that. Through contemplation, you learn to quiet your conscious mind, to fully relax. And this relaxing effect moves all the way down to your subconscious mind. And the benefits are fantastic in terms of relaxation, reduced blood pressure, reduced cortisol levels, not to mention being very practical for self-defense and hunting purposes. I personally often like to contemplate or meditate sitting in the chapel here in front of the nice stained glass window in a pew. So what you need to do is cast off your preconceived notions that contemplation and meditation are airy-fairy nonsense. And then you need to understand that they are spiritual technologies that had their origins in hunting behaviors, and embrace them. The terms that we use in Western spiritual practice are reversed from the way they're used in Eastern spiritual practice. So when we say meditation, then it comes from the root word medicine. And so therefore, meditation has a point. It has a fix. There's something it's supposed to do, and it will almost always involve some sort of tool. So in other words, there'll be a certain focus, something that you need to look at, that you need to say, or something like that in order to achieve a certain type of focus or achievement, something to do. In contemplation comes from the word temple, and a temple is an empty space where people have spiritual experiences. And so contemplation, which we're going to practice today, is an emptying. It is an emptying. And so therefore you want to not think about specific things. And that's the first rule. So you want your thoughts to not be dwelled upon. Don't think about your grocery list or your chores or your hot date or whatever else is trying to dominate your thoughts. Let your thoughts come and go and dissipate like ripples on a pond. Let them pass through you as if you were gauze. Let them recede like a wave until you approach, as much as possible, thoughtlessness. Do not fidget, wiggle, or scratch. Remember, contemplation has its origins in predator and prey behavior. Therefore, you cannot fidget, wiggle, or scratch, and your breathing must be silent. No, none of that nonsense. When you sit, make sure that your hands are in a position that you can maintain for a length of time. So if you have your hands way out here, it's going to draw you forward and make you uncomfortable. So put your hands close to your body. If you're in a tree stand, or you're doing this while you're hunting, or while you're waiting for a photograph, or whatever it is you're trying to do, then make sure that you are assuming a position that you can maintain for a period of time. The next thing you should do is you should keep your airways open throughout. So don't clamp down on your breath. Simply hesitate with the airway open before you begin your exhale. Don't breathe in and then clamp down on it like that. Or the opposite, when you breathe out, don't close the airway. Keep it open the whole time. And be cognizant of your posture, and so that you don't sag too much or you don't sit ramrod straight. Be in a comfortable, relaxed posture that you can maintain again for a period of time. Do not practice contemplation with your eyes closed. Keep your eyes open. Don't send your eyes back and forth, because again, that's another movement. That's another form of fidgeting. Just keep your eyes straight ahead and learn to take in your entire visual field, even when your eyes maintain a forward view. Take in everything. Listen. Open your sensorium. Listen to the bird calls, the cricket calls, the footsteps, the twigs and nuts falling through the trees, the flutter of the leaves, all of that. How long do you practice contemplation? I recommend multiple short sessions rather than one long session. So rather than sitting for an hour once a week, then I recommend 5 minutes twice a day, maybe 10 minutes once a day, maybe 15 minutes every other day. But practice it more regularly is better than less regularly. If you can practice contemplation for 10 minutes a day, then if called upon to do so, you probably wouldn't have any difficulty sitting perfectly still for 30 minutes or maybe even an hour if you had to do so in a survival situation. Remember, contemplation and meditation both have their origins in predator and prey behavior. So, contemplation and meditation are not airy-fairy nonsense. They are a part of who you are as a human being. People sat down and were quiet out of necessity, and while they were doing it, they realized that there were spiritual benefits. Thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.